All right, gather around, we'll get started. This time I'd like to call to order the Anderson County regular meeting of March the 3rd to order. This time I'd like to ask Ms. Wilson if she'd lead us in the invocation and pledge of allegiance. If we all rise, please.
Thank you. Before we provide our invocation, I would like to introduce our Palmetto Junior Air Force ROTC color guard that will be presenting colors tonight. And now may we pray. Precious Heavenly Father, maker of heaven and earth, thank you for all of our many blessings. Thank you for allowing us to live in a free nation. We ask your special wisdom and guidance in our proceedings tonight, and your special wisdom and guidance and protection on our young people and our soldiers who protect our freedom that we so cherish. I pray this in the name of my personal Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. Flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Be seated. I'd start off by saying appreciate those young folks coming here and doing that tonight for us. This time I'd like to recognize Francis Crowder. He's got some. We've got some special guests here in the audience tonight to recognize him. Introduce Crowder.
Thank you, Chairman. It's indeed a privilege to have a group of Andersonians here who are working through Leadership Anderson, a wonderful program that cultivates tomorrow's future leaders. Many of them are already leaders in our community, if not all. At this time, I'd like to ask each one to stand as I call your name. Lanika Mussolini. Thank you. Ms. Tricia McDougall, thank you. Ms. Ashley Brooks and Ms. Jennifer Osgood. Thank you for coming, and we look forward to your participation in government at all levels.
Well, thank y'all for being here tonight. This time, like to move on to item number 3, approval of the February 24th, 2015 meeting agenda minutes. Is any changes, corrections to be made, Ms. Wilson?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. On page 10, lines 23, 37, and 40, Oak Hill is spelled as one word, and it's actually 2 words. And I didn't catch the name of the person who spoke, but that should be on the sign-in sheet from the previous meeting. And on the next page, the person referred to on line 6, his last name is Settle, S-E-T-T-L-E. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Anyone at Mr. Crowder?
Yes, I have 2 on page 9, line 43. Please insert the word iPad users. On page 41, well, that's actually a question for later on. I apologize. That's the only one I have.
Thank you, Mr. Crowder. Anyone else? Do we have a motion to accept those minutes with those corrections?
So moved.
Ms. Wilson, we have a second?
Second.
Second, Mr. Cole. All in favor of the motion, show hands. Waters? All opposed? The motion carries unanimously. On to item number 4, citizens' comment. Please, when the attorney calls your name, please step forward and for the record, state your name and district, address the chair. For first, you got 3 minutes. In this first round, please keep manners on agenda items only.
Mr. Chairman, there are no citizens signed up to speak tonight.
Thank you, Mr. Harmon. Moving on to item number 5, presentation K-9 demonstration honoring Trooper E.F. Nicholson. Burns. I'm sorry. Let's get the mic where you can, everybody can hear you.
There you go.
Thank you for having me here today. My name is Misty Nicholson, and I'm here with the Trooper Nicholson K-9 Fund. To start off, the fund came about in memory of my husband. Eric Nicholson was killed in the line of duty in December of 2000, and in anticipation of the 10th anniversary of his death in 2010, we decided to raise money and donate a K-9 in his honor. We were able to do that, but the response from the community in the upstate was very overwhelming. So we have continued the fund, and we are now up to, we donated 4 dogs, and the 5th dog that we would like to donate is going to go to Anderson County, and specifically Officer Kramer. He lost his dog, K-9 Bolt, in December of 2014, so not very long ago, and that has made a shortage here in Anderson County. So what we have done is partnered with the Defenders Law Enforcement Motorcycle Club, and we're going to raise funds to get a dog as soon as possible to get back out on the road. We have several ways that people can donate. We have a Facebook page, a website, and a You Caring page on Facebook as well. We also have an event planned for the end of March that will be our big fundraiser. Our goal is $15,000. The dogs themselves are very expensive, and that includes training. So we are trying to raise the money as fast as we can so that we can get a dog back on the road. And Sergeant Livingston will tell you more about the event that we have planned.
On March 28th, we've partnered up with Tim's Harley-Davidson, and we're going to do a Paul's Enforcing Laws ride. It's going to be pretty much motorcycles doing a ride in honor of Bolt. And there'll be a registration. We're going to charge for the ride, and there will be events, there'll be door prizes and other things like that going on at the event, and we'll have a DJ there. It's just going to be a good time. It's going to be a lot of guys coming out and honoring the K-9s, especially Bolt, for this day, and we're hoping to have a good turnout. One of the things that we're hoping is a big response from the community businesses to help out in this too, and that's why we partnered up with the Defenders Hero Foundation, which is a 501(c), which will allow them to have tax benefits on that too, and you can get to that through her website, the Trooper K-9 website. If there's any questions, you can get a hold of Misty or myself.
We're going to let you hear from Dalen himself and the impact of him losing Bolt.
I'm Dalen Kramer. Bolt was a German Shepherd. He did narcotics tracking and apprehension. Also did so many disciplines that we use actually out here in law enforcement, as far as clearing buildings instead of the officer have to go in there, locating missing children, missing vulnerable adults. As a patrol dogs, we do about everything. Like I said, it's kind of hard to talk about. On December 1st, he was diagnosed with cancer, and I was told that there was nothing we could do for him. And he survived 26 days. He was, like I said, 6.5 years old, and I was able to partner with him for 5 years. And you spend so much time with them. You come to work, they're there. You go home, they're there. The first night I had him, he couldn't get comfortable in the house, so I went and slept in my patrol car with him. It's just the bond you have, and when you have an animal, save your life at work, there's this, it's amazing. And Misty contacted me just a few days after he passed away and told me that, through her foundation, she wanted to not only the next dog be in memory of Bolt, but she wanted me to be the handler. And I don't deserve it, but it's very amazing to be able to come out here and work in the community and do stuff like that. Thank you.
Yep, anybody comment, Ms. Wilson?
It's unbelievable, the people and the animals that lay their lives on the line for the rest of us every day. And it was so amazing to see the junior ROTC over at Palmetto had raised funds for this as well. So if you will get your application in, we'll do what we can from up here. And I'm sure Mr. Burns will make sure your function gets up on the county calendar and everything. But thank y'all so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Wilson, anyone else have any comments?
Yes.
Ms. Floyd?
Good. As I told you before, I can understand the love between a person and I don't want to say animal because they're more like people. That's with you. My heart goes out to you for your loss. I'm prepared. District 2 is the district that I represent, and District 2, with the permission of council, is ready to step in tonight so we can get this thing on the road so we can meet the goal. Those dogs are very, very important to Anderson County. I'm glad that you're here with us. I'm glad you live in Anderson with us. And I hope very, very soon that you will have what you need to protect us all. Thank you.
Thank you. Brown?
Yeah, I agree with Ms. Floyd. You got a soft touch here when it comes to the dogs, to the animals. So can we donate tonight, or do they have to put in?
I just asked you to wait till end of the meeting. We take.
Oh, yeah, sure. Okay, all right. Thank you so much.
Thank you very, very much.
Anyone else? I'd just like to say thank y'all very much for what all y'all do. Y'all are blessed, and may the Lord be with y'all. Thank y'all very much.
Thank you.
God bless you. We're moving on now to item number 6, budget and insurance concerns. Ms. Floyd?
Thank you. I want to start with the insurance, first of all. It was the beginning of February, I think. I received a telephone call from one of our retirees who was telling me about what she was going through with her retirement check. Now, I don't know how many of you out there are retired. Everybody looks so young and so vibrant. I don't know if you know what the retirement check means, but to people who have worked all of their lives and have socked away a little money in their in an account for retirement, we kind of depend on it. And the problem was that it seems as if a lot of our retirees were not receiving their retirement check. So no bills could be paid, no medicine could be purchased, and no food could be bought. Well, I immediately called. I called Mr. Burns first, I believe, and then I called Miss Davis, or maybe it was the other way around. Well, Miss Davis jumped on this problem very quickly, and not only did she get it solved, but she called the lady who had the problem, who had enough nerve to call, because I understand even though there was a lot of people with this problem, only one was able to get through to me. But anyway, Mrs. Davis solved it. Not only did she solve it, but she gave me and the person who called the history of the whole thing. I'm bringing it up now because it appears as if our retirees didn't even know what was going on about it. But since it's been so long now, I am sure that everybody knows it and have gotten what they're supposed to get. Mr. Dunn, if I may call Mrs. Davis to the mic.
Yes, ma'am.
Mrs. Davis, will you come up to the mic, please? Could you tell us what has happened since then? Has everybody been informed now, and are the checks coming in now?
That is my understanding, yes, ma'am. HR is now getting calls, and the fact everybody's gotten their welcome packet and the forms that they need to fill out in order to get reimbursed for their claims.
Okay, so everything is okay now, right?
Yes, as far as I know, yes, ma'am. We have not gotten any more calls.
Okay, all right.
Retirees.
All right, Mrs. Davis, I want to thank you for jumping on that as quickly as you did and for getting that problem solved. I think I got the call on a Thursday, and by that following Monday, this particular retiree had what she needed.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Was that right?
Yes, ma'am. We took it very seriously.
Okay, good. And I just thank you for it, okay? And with that, that's all I'm going to say about it, Mr. Chair. But moving on to the budget, we have started working on the budget again. And again, I find myself in the position of fighting myself because I have not heard from the other council members yet, but I'm hoping that we are going to fight for raises, some raises that will make an impact. Again, I am questioning and hoping that we can raise the salary for our officers. Now, it bothers me that we are not paying our officers what we need. We don't have many on the street because they're leaving us. They're leaving us, going elsewhere that's paying more. Even cities less than our size are paying more than what we're paying. And when you ask a man to carry a gun and you pay him absolutely nothing, it's got to be a real man. It's got to be a man who cares for others. It's got to be a man who really believes what they said about there's no greater love than for a man to lay down his life for others. It's got to be because of that, because they're not making any money. I met an officer with 4 kids, and the man made $20-something thousand a year. Come on. We pay people in our offices much more than that. So this year, I am really going to champion the idea, the hope, the dream, that we can pay our officers a living wage. A living wage. That's a wage that you can actually live on without having to do anything else. The kind of raises or the kind of money that a lot of us make, not me, but a lot of other people are making. I'm hoping that we can do this year. I have not had a chance to sit down with our sheriff yet, but I will catch him. You can believe that. I will catch him, and we will sit down and see what can be done. poor Mr. Burns, his ears are red, and he's almost deaf from my yelling in his ears about what needs to be done. I've had a long talk with Ms. Davis about what could be done for raises as far as our people are concerned. And I'm not dividing them up. Our people, the people who work directly under Mr. Burns, and the sheriff's people are people who work directly under him, but they all belong to one family, and that's Anderson County. And but I have worked closely with her, and she has shown me a system that I just really, really like. And I keep asking about it, but I have been told that the other council members have not had a chance yet to look at it. But I'm hoping that as we go through this budget process, that's where we're going to be. I'm speaking up now because I know nothing else has been said to anybody about nothing, and that's not right. That's not right. Let's let people know what we're trying to do at least. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Ms. Floyd, moving on to item number 7A, ordinance second reading 2015-006, ordinance authorizing pursuant to Title 4, Chapter 1 of the Code of Laws of South Carolina 1976 as amended, the expansion of the boundaries of the Joint County Industrial and Business Park jointly developed by Greenville County, South Carolina to include certain real property located in Anderson County, South Carolina. Execution and delivery of infrastructure credit agreement by and among Anderson County, South Carolina, Project Upstate, and landlord to provide for infrastructure credits and others related matters thereto. Mr. Nelson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of council, Mr. Burns, Mr. Harmon, Ms. Poland. This Project Upstate. It is a new project. It's a distribution operation for a company with over 100 years of international success. This project is bringing 47 new jobs at an average hourly wage rate of $19.72 for a new annual payroll in Anderson County of $5.79 million. Capital investment is $13.5 million. The property tax paid on the property this last year was $117. Projected for 2016 taxes, $175,000. In 30 years, $6.4 million in property tax. First year community impact is $12,700,000. Over 20 years, the impact is $148 million. We bring this to you as a recommendation from staff and from the advisory council and request your positive action on it tonight. Thank you, sir.
We have a motion to move this forward.
I'll make a motion, we move it forward.
Motion, Mr. Crowder, and second, Ms. Wilson. Any discussion? Mr. Crowder?
I could have just been hearing incorrectly. I thought you said 47 new jobs. Didn't you mean 147, or just did I mishear?
Well, I hope I said 147.
No, you said 47.
Well, I apologize. 147.
Whatever, it's 100. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you. I apologize.
Thank you, Mr. Crowder. Anyone else? Mr. Waters?
I know what you put in this, and this has been a project that's been ongoing for a couple of years, I believe.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
It's just like we've always said, one job's important to you, so same thing. I agree with you 100%. Times 147, so that's looking good. And then this annual payroll, where they'll be making almost, we'll be paying out the payroll will be almost $6 million. You reckon any of those guys bass fish? I appreciate what you do. It's a good job. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Anyone else? All in favor of the motion, show of hands. All opposed, like sign, so the motion carries unanimously.
Thank you for support. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Moving on to item number 8A, ordinance first reading 2015-005, supplemental ordinance to amend ordinance 2014-016, the operating capital budgets for Anderson County for the fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2014, and ending June 30th, 2015. Ms. Davis.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. This just puts in ordinance form what council reviewed at our workshop, that is special call meeting, and just, you want me to go through it real quick, sir?
I think it'd be good for the record, just put it on the, let me ask council members, y'all. Yep.
Okay, very good.
Oh, no, go through it.
Go through it, okay. Real quick, like, we have $20,000 for the moving registration and election rent through June 30 of this year, $115,000 more for voice over IP, and we have the 1.5 million for district paving, and we have $1 million for C-Fund match. And then we have 122,000 to finish up the final invoice on Green Pond. And that, most of that, if $5,135,000 come out of general fund. Recall we had a good year in 2014, and council's desire is to put it on roads, building.
Could we assume that the addition to our general fund revenue was mostly based on growth in our county?
It's yes, ma'am. And therefore, the taxes were more, therefore, your net profit was better for 2014.
That's another good indicator that the county has been moving well beyond what a lot of counties in this country are doing. So I think that is a good reassuring sign that we're now able to start putting more money into paving and infrastructure, which increased growth and resulting in increased revenues. That's a very appropriate thing to do. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? We have a motion? Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Crowder.
Well, assuming it's going to be approved, this is just a point of clarification. Each council member will be able to meet with administration to prioritize where it wants to spend the additional paving money. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. I'm sure they'll come back, or we go to them, or whatever.
Whatever, yeah,
Yes, sir.
whatever. That's all I'll make a motion.
Second. Mr. Crowder, second, Mr. Waters. Any discussion? Furthermore, all in favor of the motion, show of hands. All opposed, like sign. Motion carries unanimously. Thank you, Ms. Davis. Moving on to item number 9, resolution R 2015-020, resolution regarding coverage under the South Carolina County's Workers' Compensation Trust of coverage for volunteer rescue ham radio operators and other matters related thereto. Mr. Burns.
Yes, sir. We're bringing this resolution before council at the request of Captain Matthew Littleton. This is so that our ham radio operators will be covered under workers' compensation. You've got a dedicated cadre of ham radio operators and they just want to be able to be covered in case they get injured in the performance of their duty during disaster recovery. Mr. Littleton said that with the cyber security, catastrophic event, your cell phone and the internet may not work. These radios will work. And so it's less than $1,000 a year. And so our Workers' Compensation Trust is just asked that council pass this resolution to allow them to cover it. It's analogous to your reserve deputies who are covered under workers' comp.
If I may,
I'll make a motion.
we got a motion, Mr. Crowder, second, Ms. Wilson. I'd like to say, we've got to, if they come out in case of emergency or whatnot, this is just really covering us because we got to cover them anyway. We can't say we can be responsible. We have to volunteer. It's much like volunteer firemen. Give them workers' comp because they got to be, we've got to have an insurance for them, or if we don't,
That's right.
something happens to them, we're going to be responsible. This is it's really covering us and them.
That's
Good
right.
thing.
Yes, sir.
Anybody else got anything?
Yes.
Mr. Lord?
Ms. Davis, what about other volunteers that may come on to help us in different type situations? Will they too be covered as well?
If we have a significant amount of volunteers, ma'am, typically we get a special events insurance policy to cover that event so that they will be covered. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, well, this is something that we're going to have to come back to at another time, okay? Because there are other people who have helped us. I'm thinking about the people, for example, who had the CERTS training at one time. Mm-hmm. These people are responsible for giving whatever is needed in time of an emergency or whatever. They've been trained by Anderson County to do this. And I was wondering if they're covered. The sheriff is coming, so maybe he has some good news for me.
Sir, they are covered, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes,
Yeah,
ma'am.
this is just bringing the radio ham people into the.
I understand that, yeah.
Everybody else has already been in the fold.
Okay, but
Organized volunteer group.
But people who, other people from the community, volunteers, are also covered in another area.
Talking about somebody walks up and say, I want to volunteer.
No.
Right, you
I'm
want
talking about
structured group.
structured group, yes.
Right,
They are already, okay,
yeah.
all right, good.
Like reserve deputies, yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, sir.
Just a quick question too. Would there be any differentiation in these groups as to whether, one, the county asks them to come and help, like they might the ham radio operators, versus a group that just shows up, like when we had the dog problem a couple years ago?
Yes, sir. In this case, the South Carolina County's Workers' Compensation Trust is very specific on the state law governs what they can cover.
That's right.
There is reserve coroners, deputies,
If y'all look at your thing, Mr. Allen,
EMS, right.
they're not, but they're basically falling under EMS, the rescue squad, because the law is very clear and specific.
That's
They
correct.
don't have what you can be covered.
And we have general liability coverage under the Insurance Reserve Fund for those top items.
Okay, so like the group that came in here from Pennsylvania, the Red Rover group or whatever that helped with the dogs, they just showed up. They would be covered under
The general
general.
liability, under Insurance
Okay.
Reserve Fund. Yes,
Okay,
sir.
that's what I wondered.
Ham operator people and all those are in our emergency operation plan, so there is
Right.
a structured process to activate them.
The law allows.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
You said that we just look at the thing, what thing?
I just thought it was in the, I thought it'd be in detail in the packet about being EMS. This is EMS, this is how they, it's brought into the fold, being structured about this. It's sort of on paper, and they got it checked out to be this. It's like being a rescue squad type of thing to be covered.
Thank you.
One else? All in favor of the motion, show of hands. Well, I'm sorry, Ms. Wilson's got something, I'm sorry.
I just want to make sure, so the estimated cost would be about $1,000 a year. And I guess this underlines Mr. Allen's presentation recently that we live in a scary world.
Yep.
And if we lose power, it's going to be very helpful to have those radios. Thank you.
Thank you. All in favor of the motion, show of hands. Those like signs, so the motion carries unanimously. Moving on to item number 10. Report from the Personnel Committee. Mr. Chairman, Tom Allen.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. We have a situation here, of course, on the council with the clerk to council. That's a one-person job, so we have to kind of look at how are we going to handle this when she's either sick or on vacation, and how do we handle overtime. Had a personnel meeting a few weeks ago, and we thought about adding some things to see if we could change stuff around a little bit, but then the idea came up, Ms. Floyd came up with this, hey, we need to bounce this off of the attorney first and look at the fair labor laws. So as it turned out, our county attorney, Leon Esquire, is that right? It was Esquire? Looked through this, and actually, since we have to stick with our personnel regs here in the county, basically, that's kind of the bottom line of it. But the reason we wanted to look at this was because, one, it's a one-person shop. How do we cover it? How do we handle the overtime? And in the past, we have had to transfer some significant sums of money over to pay people for overtime. And those times that occurred actually was kind of, as I believe, an inadvertent thing. Something slipped through the crack that shouldn't have happened, because it is outlined in our personnel ordinances how much overtime can be maintained. And we can also work with the clerk to work out a time frames for her that will work out so that she can utilize her overtime. So again, basically, we're just going to be using our personnel regs. And that was all I had to state on that, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Allen. Moving on to appointments. Item number 11, Mr. Waters. Thank you, Mr. Waters. Mr. Allen? Ms. Floyd? Cole?
I have one reappointment tonight, Mr. Ronnie Bratcher to the Anderson Sports and Entertainment Center. Mr. Bratcher served on this for several terms now, and I understand does a good job, so.
That full motion, have a second?
Second.
Second, Mr. Waters. Any discussion? All in favor of the motion, show of hands. Opposed, like sign, so the motion carries unanimously. Anything else, Mr. Cole? That's it. Mr. Crowder?
I have none, Chairman.
Thank you. Ms. Wilson has none. District 5 has none. Moving on to item number 13, request for council members. Mr. Waters?
I do. I have three. The first one, can I do all three of these at one time?
Okay. Certainly can.
The first one, I'd like to appropriate $275 for the ROTC competition that the Pendleton ROTC put on last couple of weeks ago. Then I'd like to appropriate $600 for the Anderson District 1 and 2 Media Broadcast Program from the Career Center over in District 1 and 2. And then $200 to the Anderson County Human Relations Council. And that is all. And I bring that before the council in the form of a motion.
Have a second? Second. Take Mr. Allen, any discussion? All in favor, I'm sorry, Ms. Flores?
That's correct. I apologize. That'll be School District 1 and 2, Career Center. Thank you, ma'am, for bringing that up.
Anything else? All in favor of the motion, show hands. Opposed, like sign, so the motion carries unanimously. Mr. Allen?
Yes, Mr. Chair, I have three that I'd like to do all at once. I'd like to take $200 for the WinShape Center that was submitted this evening it's a children's camp. Another $200 for the Human Relations program, and if we can, on the K-9 presentation tonight of Mr. Nicholson from the Nicholson Foundation, I'd like to do another $200.
Okay.
I'll put that in the form of a motion.
We have a second. Thank Ms. Wilson. Any discussion? All in favor of the motion, show hands. All opposed, like sign, so the motion carries unanimously. Moving on, Ms. Flores.
Yes, I have tonight I would like to make. First of all, I would like to allocate from District 2's recreational account $5,000 to go to the Anderson City Recreational Center. This money is being used to help those who cannot afford to go to the rec center for the things that are offered there, the exercise programs and the baseball teams, the basketball teams, and all the other stuff. This is only for the children and people who reside in Anderson County District 2, as it is their money. Also, I would like to allocate $2,000 for the Mr. Nicholson Paws for the animals to help our police officers. I feel like this project is so great that it not only help us in our communities, it also helps the officers who are in charge of these dogs. And I'm hoping that this animal, I hate to use that word again, but these animals will be able to assist us in finding our children, finding other things that's gone wrong in our community and our county, and for helping us all live a better quality of life. Thank you. I put that in the form of a motion.
Have a second. Thank Mr. Allen. Any discussion? All in favor of the motion, show hands. Opposed, like sign, so the motion carries unanimously. Mr. Cole?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to allocate $300 for two signs at the Star Walking Track. The county sign shop will install these.
Have a motion, have a second. Second. Thank Mr. Allen. Any discussion? All in favor of the motion, show hands. Opposed, like sign, so the motion carries unanimously.
Chairman, thank you. I'd like to transfer from District 1's recreation account two different items, both of them at one time, if we could. The Human Relations Council, $200, and to Camp WinShape, $1,000.
Second.
Have a motion, second, Ms. Wilson. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, show hands. All opposed, like sign, so the motion carries unanimously. Wilson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I've got several small ones to make. It pretty much cleans out District 7's account. This is from District 7 Recreation account. Please, I would like to appropriate $200 toward the Districts 1 and 2 Career and Technology Center for their trip for their students, and $200 for the Human Relations Council, and $200 for the Trooper Nicholson K-9 fund to the Defenders Hero Foundation. and $200 to the Windshape 2014 camp. And I put that in the form of a motion.
Second. Mr. Waters, any discussion? And all in favor of the motion, show of hands. Opposed, like sign, so motion carries unanimously.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
would it be possible if I go back and
Yes, sir.
appropriate some of the money for the Nicholson K-9? Could I appropriate $200 from the District 6?
I have a motion, we have a second. Second, Mr. Allen, any discussion? All in favor of Mr. Waters' motion, show of hands. Opposed, like sign, so motion carries unanimously.
Mr. Dunn, may I go back and do one? May I transfer $200 from District 1's recreational account for the acquisition of a K-9?
Okay. I have a motion, Mr. Crowder, have a second. Second, Ms. Wilson, any discussion? All in favor of the motion, show of hands. Opposed, like sign, motion carries unanimously. Mr. Burns, on the Human Relations Council, my understanding, they just need $1,000, right? Okay, I got it. District 5, Eric, I'd like to make a motion to the Human Relations Council on $400.
Second.
I got a couple, if y'all just bear with me. On the camp for the kids, I'd like to do $250, and for the K-9, I'd like to do $2,500. Put that in form of motion. Any further, we have a second, Ms. Wilson. Any further discussion? All in favor of the motion, show of hands. All opposed, like sign, so the motion carries unanimously. Moving on, item number 14, administrative report, Mr. Burns.
Nothing at this time, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Moving on to item number 15, citizens' comments.
Mr. Chairman, there are no citizens signed up to speak.
Well, ain't coming to an end, is it? Well, this is the first time they take their time. Moving on to item number 16, remarks from council members. Ms. Wilson.
They're getting very bored with us, or they trust us again. But I just can't say enough good compliments to our county employees, the citizens of this county. It's just so exciting to see how far this county has come from quite an abyss. So thank you all. I appreciate being part of it.
Thank you, Ms. Wilson. Mr. Crowder.
Yes, sir, Chairman. There's a proposed amendment to the local government bill, House Bill 3334, or what have you, and it's going to be voted on this week as an amendment. We need to contact our local delegation. I talked to several today, and about half of them are supportive of it, and half of them are not. What this amendment does, as you know, the current bill of favor seems to be where we're going to have the same amount of money we had last year, and the only way we can get an increase is if the state's revenue goes up 4%. And at that time, that'll trigger a 2% increase. The amendment would not use that formula, but would use the formula that we get the same amount of money that we got, but then over a three-year period, they would phase in full funding. So
Like we are now, like we're supposed to be now.
like we're supposed to be now. So if you have the opportunity to talk to Josh Putman, Mr. Hill, Mike Gambrell, Ann Thayer, I talked to the senator too, Senator Bryant. And so if, the more people that clamor, the more possibility it is. You know, squeaking wheel always seems to get the grease, so let's put as much grease as we can possibly do it. You know, we may not succeed at all, but if you don't try, you don't succeed. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Crowder.
Mr. Chairman, fellow council persons, y'all have heard me say this a couple of times before, but riding around in the county, we've got trash everywhere. To continue to draw industry in here, we're going to have to do something. And I would propose that we set up an anti-litter conference, invite the magistrates, the solid waste department, Keep America Beautiful, school representatives, representatives from the municipalities, economic development, and the news media, and let's address this problem and see what we can do to correct it.
Thanks, Cole. Mr. Burns, can you set that up? Mr. Cole work back, I think that's a great idea.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. That's all.
Sir. Ms. Floyd?
I attended a meeting yesterday that I think that we should all be aware of it. We almost lost the remaining work that needs to be done on the east-west connector. We had a vote on something. It wasn't clear what the vote was about, and it wasn't clear what was happening. And the vote ended up with the majority of the people saying that they didn't want to, in essence, go any further on the east-west connector. I found myself on the prevailing end of that vote. After the vote was done, we kept talking about it, so I reconsidered my vote so we could take it off the table before we lost the whole thing and have some time to study it and go back to it. The meeting, I must say, was very, very confusing. The information that was done was very confusing, but at least it was saved, okay? I wish I could tell you what it was about, but I found it very, very hard to put it into words. And I found it hard yesterday, after the meeting, to put it into words what happened. It seems that they were going to vote on fixing up two ends of the east-west connector at the same time, which was going to push other projects over to another year thing. But I'm telling you this so you can be aware of it. You may want to call some of the ANACS members and find out what happened with it, and if it's going to be a safe project now. You can quote me on what I said, because I really don't know what to say about it. But I have made some arrangement to actively research the whole project and go back through the thing again. Please be aware that the East-West Connector is not an Anderson County connector project. It wasn't done for Anderson County to go out and thank the city and everybody else for helping us. It wasn't our project. That project is an ANACS project, and it came, it was about maybe 25 years in the making. Okay, so no one person or no, the Anderson County didn't do that. We are being responsible for some of the upkeep on it, which we're going to have to take another look at. But please see what you can find out. See what you can learn for yourself about this. Don't listen to the radio station. Go to comparable people who understand the issues. Go to the ANACS people. That's Michael Gay at the Anderson, the mayor of the ANACS committee. Roberts, who's the mayor of the ANACS committee, people like that. But I wanted to bring that up today because it was the most confusing meeting I have ever attended. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Allen.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. I wanted to pay some compliments to the Civic Center. I know we hear a lot of times, oh, it doesn't make money, it doesn't make money. Most Civic Centers don't make money. But just to be known, if you think the Civic Center is not doing anything, get a hold of their schedule. That place is booked solid. I went over today to an archery competition, high school. There were 425 kids there from 25 schools. Last week they had the wrestling competition. I don't know how many kids were there. The place was packed. Week before that was a junior ROTC drill meet. They have volleyball tournaments coming up. There's a lot of activities going on at the Civic Center, and I would encourage everyone to go there and check out what's going on. It's very, very interesting. So again, just wanted to pay them a compliment, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Allen. Mr. Waters?
And I'd like to do the same with the archery tournament. That's pretty good. 25 schools, and then during the bass tournament they had a meet the bass fishermen. I think there were about the night that it snowed, I think there were about 500 people there. And that was with the weather conditions like it was. Also like to add, this weekend at Green Pond, Clemson Bass Fishing Club will be sponsoring a bass tournament out there. So there's some more of those to come. And then just to add one more thing, Mr. Burns, there's something about the Career Center that we were working with about some internships. Are you prepared to where you could mention that, or? Appreciate that. And one last thing, could we have somebody check the battery in our clock back there? I think it's running a little slow tonight. That's all I have. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Waters. Got a couple things. Want to appreciate the whole Anderson County team for the great economic development news that's been coming out lately. I'm pretty sure there will be some more announcements in the very near future. Good news for the citizens of Anderson County and Anderson County as general. Remind people about the Innovative Anderson's meeting, make-up snow day for Thursday, be Thursday, 8 o'clock. And also, I hope y'all have had a chance to look at the ordinance I gave y'all last meeting about the standing in the road for money and make some comments. I'd like to introduce something at next council meeting about that. And again, I hope all council will get behind I think Mr. Cole's got a great idea, something to start, work with. We used to have a more vibrant Keep America Beautiful campaign, volunteers and stuff, but this is all of our problems. We need to get this solved. I'll go hold with Mr. And it's no one, I don't think it's, what I've seen of it, it's no one answer. It's a lot of different things, and we got to start educating people, and I mean, it's unreal, but we need to keep Anderson County looking good. Appreciate everybody coming out tonight, and we adjourn.
Tommy.
Sir. No, I signed it. I think can you what's it called?